So, Steve here again, just watched another episode of Marvel's Jessica Jones, and I'm going to give my review for that. So, I liked this episode so far out of the three I've seen. I think this would probably be probably the best. It goes where they left off in the last episode, where we find out that Luke Cage has his powers, where he has got that unbreakable skin, and him and Jessica, get it on. The creepy neighbor watching him. I love that guy so far. He's been my second favorite character after Shoe Sniffer. So, like I said, we find out that Luke Cage has got powers and she's got powers, and they're talking to one another, and it puts them in the Marvel continuity that they're in this world where they have people with superpowers, and they're wondering how many of them are. And it did kind of raise a question, like, is this supposed to be in sync with what's going on with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now? Because you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they've got this storyline and this season that, there's a government agency, ATCU, that's tracking down superpowered people who are all supposed to be the Inhumans. So why no one's going to be... Well, I mean... It makes me wonder, is that going to tie into Jessica Jones? Are we going to see them, like a cameo from someone from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show up, Daisy, Quake or someone, or are they just going to ignore, what's going on with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I think it would be cool to have a Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. cameo, and because it strikes me that, if it's in sync with Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., they should be having people looking for them right now. But enough about that. Let's just get to what's going on with Jessica Jones, and that is that, she's looking for Kilgrave. She gets a few more clues where he's hanging out. She tries to get her lawyer friend and her talk show friend to help her. So they set up this interview with the girl who's on trial for killing her parents. And it doesn't go too well because Patty Walker decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to call this Kilgrave just an impotent, psycho little shit. And of course, Kilgrave decides to send an assassin after her, some cop that he, hypnotized. And, once again, with the continuity, we've seen this in the Marvel Universe twice with the first Avengers movie where we had Loki with the scepter and he could, control people's minds. Maybe that got covered up by S.H.I.E.L.D. But then you had Agent Carter, where the Dr. Thaddeus type character was able to, hypnotize people into doing things they didn't want. So it's sort of like in this universe, why don't people believe in mind control, that there are people who control their minds? We've seen it twice now. Okay, so once again, she stops the cop from killing her friend, follows the cop back to the apartment complex we saw in the last episode, or maybe a different one, and she has to fight the cop, stop him from committing suicide, and take on everyone in the building she encounters who is under, Kilgrave's control. And, she ends up finding out, walking into his room, and he's got all these pictures of her, so she realizes, wow, he is really obsessed with her. And then from there, she breaks it off with Luke Cage, and it's like, why have to make a complicated romance? They're two superheroes. They like one another. Why couldn't that be? In this one, you find out that she's responsible for Luke Cage's wife's death, and it's like, yeah, soap opera type stuff. Anyway, also, in this episode, we heard Luke Cage say his famous line, "Sweet Christmas." So, yeah, I'm wondering if they'll continue down the lines, and we'll see the neon yellow jacket and the crystal tiara. That'll be fun. And also with Kilgrave, I'm wondering if he's going to get send more obstacles her way, and maybe there'll be some superpower villains that will show up that she'll have to take on. Like maybe Shoe Sniffer has some kind of powers to control people's shoes. Kilgrave hypnotizes them, and Shoe Sniffer goes after her with all, heels and Ugg boots and whatnot. I would look forward to that. I think it's unlikely. We haven't seen Shoe Sniffer since the first episode, but I'd like to see more Schussifner.